Alright, so welcome back everybody. Today we're actually talking about the Twitch Drops event that happened for Crossout in celebration of the brand new Syndicate faction launching this season. Now, if you don't know what Twitch Drops are essentially this little feature that game developers can implement in which by watching certain Crossout streams that have these activated, usually for a couple of hours, you then can gain rewards in-game, usually customization options for various weapons or whatnot, or some like little decals that you generally can implement with very little minimal gameplay impact. Now, Crossout did this by allowing you to have stickers. You can also get a corrosion paint, a customization kit for the Docker cabin called Shanghai, which allows you to change its appearance. And then you could also get, I think, 1 day of premium time, too. Now, the reason that most game developers actually try to participate in something like this is because it has a profound impact on viewership on these platforms. I mean, I think Tarkov became a pretty niche game, but then when they implemented Twitch Drops into their game, the game just exploded. Because at that point, there's a huge flux and a huge demand for people to actually watch these streams because, again, you have to watch hours of content in order for you to actually unlock these items. So for one, it makes Twitch money by giving advertisers. It gets these Twitch streamers more donations, sub revenue, and everything. And then it also gives the developers more people coming into their games and potentially becoming buying customers, which it impacts everyone everywhere. Now, of course, you also have to make the rewards tantalizing enough to do that. And generally, most developers can get away just by making some basic cosmetic things. Now, what was the effect for Crossout specifically? Well, it was profound. I mean, we're talking about viewership from Crossout that averages in maybe the low 20s, high 50s, depending on whether or not the heavy hitters are on, like Syndicate, Sparkplugs, or whatever Russian channel that I'm not familiar with comes online. Now, when those people are on, maybe you could see a peakage of over 100, maybe 150, but when this event was going on, bam, there was like upwards of 2,000 people in Crossout at the exact same time, at least on Twitch. In-game, it's probably a lot more people. Now, that is a ungodly huge burst in growth, and this was just in one minor event in which they only released 2 stickers, a CK premium time, and a paint. Stuff they can make in absolute batches and droves because they have plenty of experience making these stuffs for, packs to purchase. So they could easily crap out stuff like this for a lot of benefit. Now, as to whether or not how much of this actually translate into people purchasing packs, how much does actually translate into channel growth, it's a bit debatable, because right now we don't actually have like the long-term impact of this, and we don't know if that's also because of the release of the faction too. There's a lot of factors that are co-mingling in this right now that makes it very hard to actually discern what actually happens. Now, usually when a faction comes out, you usually do see a spurt in growth in Crossout, but usually it's generally maybe a couple of hundred people at best. So there's definitely a much larger multiplier implemented by these Twitch Drop features. I mean, take a look at Syndicate. That dude maybe averaged around 30 to 50 people, got over 200 people on average while streaming Crossout during this event. That is amazing. Even someone personally like me, who usually gets very few people on Twitch, I get a lot more people on YouTube, probably because of relation to my videos and exposure, but on Twitch I usually get nobody, because exposure on there is dog crap. Well, that and Crossout's a pretty small game to begin with too, but that's besides the point. During that event, I actually had a consistent, 8 to 10 people the entire time, even when I was AFK. Even when I was AFK and just re-rolling previous stream footage, I was still getting in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 people just watching rebroadcasts of my streams, and occasionally interacting too. And that's actually pretty dang notable, because overall, I actually did see a notable increase in followers, interactions. Of course, I didn't see any money because it's Twitch. But that's just kind of how it rolls out. And if you were a larger channel, you would see even more pronounced impacts from that. So it actually is quite notable. But how does the long-term implications impact there? Well, overall, it seems that actually around maybe 10 to 1% of the viewers from that actual Twitch event thing have actually stuck around, which seems about average for the release of a brand new faction. Now, as to whether or not the Twitch drops or the release of the faction cause that, it's hard to say. But you can see a noticeable spike in performance over the past couple of days for Crossout. So there's definitely something there that could definitely be exploited. And I imagine they're probably doing a cost-benefit analysis right now. It's like, okay, how many people did we attract with this Twitch Drops event? How much time did it actually cost us to make all those things? And how much money did we make from it overall? And I imagine if it's actually a positive correlation, they'll probably continuously do this. Maybe if their ROI is at least decently high. But that'll be hard to say, because the thing is that anything that can be generating in-game currency, such as with the premium time they gave away, I imagine they're not really on board to do that a whole bunch. I mean, we're talking about the company that specifically nerfed the little rewards you get from the friends in your garage from like 10 scrap per friend down to like 5, and you'd get like maybe 25 wires. Now you're down to 1 wire. I mean, why they did that, I have no idea. Apparently the inflation that was causing was rather intense. I'm not sure how, but cool. But considering they're very, very, very hostile to anything that remotely kind of improves the gameplay experience, at least in terms of grinding, they're not really going to be terribly fan of. So I can imagine the premium time not returning terribly often, but if they can just simply do extra CKs, extra paints, extra stickers, and whatnot, and they continuously release that through Twitch Drops, I can see them definitely sustaining a much larger viewer base on Twitch and YouTube and getting a lot more viewership that way. And that way, that'll actually generate more players and more income for them. So I'm just kind of curious as to how that'll turn out in the end and what the reaction is. But I talked on way too long at this point. What are you guys' opinion on the whole situation? Are you guys yay, nay for it? What was your experience with it? And that, I'll let you guys go. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.